Hey, what's going on? This is Billy Newman, and you're listening to the Billy Newman Photo Podcast. I'm recording from the truck studio again, and I'm trying out a couple different things. I've been messing around with some other audio recording software stuff, like I've talked about a couple times. I have some mics set up at home, and I have the kind of audio interface set up at home. I'm trying to figure out a way to do some more stuff on the go. And so that's a little test of what I'm working on today. But a lot of stuff coming out today. I'm really trying to push a lot harder here at the end of September and into October for the rest of the year of a lot of the media content that's going out. I've been doing a bunch this summer, and hey, a truck's coming by. What's up, gravel dump truck? See ya. But yeah, this summer I've been trying to do a lot to work to get together some new photos, some new stuff to try and kind of build a base and then move from there a little bit. But I'm really excited to try and put up a bunch of the older portfolio photographs that I have. And I was really happy to work on the website a lot this summer. I kind of redesigned a bit of that. You check that out. Tell me what you think of it. It's at billynewmanphoto.com. And I've tried to strip out a lot of the unnecessary parts, and I'm trying to kind of hone it down a little bit so it's a little cleaner. But it's going well. I'm trying to set it up a little bit more so it's stream based, if that would make sense. You know how we've kind of moved toward like the Facebook stream, the Twitter stream, the Instagram stream. So I'm trying to kind of move it to where, like I talked about on the podcast before, where a lot of the media stuff that I put together, the video clips, the photographs and stuff, that wherever they do end up going, whatever sites I am populating, like Flickr and Instagram and Facebook and all the rest, that's kind of what's shown on the website, or you know how the website's going to try and automatically pull that stuff and ingest that into the website so I don't have to do it as much. And that's kind of been fun, actually, or it's kind of been cool doing that. But the thing that I need to do, the part that's still left, is I need to go through my photo portfolio, kind of the long-term portfolio of images I have. And I'm trying to go through and select what would be good to show the work that I've done so far. And I'm trying to do that in a way that's more developed than I have before. I've gone through and I've kind of picked the photos that I like a lot, but I'm trying to do a couple different things. And hey, another truck. Man, that looks like a few tons of gravel in the back. So what I want to do though with the photo stuff, and what I've kind of been trying to work on a little bit, is to go through Instagram or to go through Facebook and to try and select my favorite photographs, but then also to select the ones that have been sort of chosen by the market. That's another idea that I'm trying to go for. What do people actually like of the pictures that I take? What are the ones that people seem to connect with the most? So in one level, I'm trying to find all those photos, and then I'm trying to sort of remake those photos or re-edit them, or kind of republish them in a way that looks sort of new and that's cleaned up a little bit in the way that I can edit and create stuff now. So part of the step is that, and then the other part is to sort of learn what people like of the photos I make, and then I want to go out and try and make more of that, or I want to try and dig in a little deeper on the part that seems to get the most traction, or that seems to be seen as the most valuable. So on one of those, like what I've noticed, what I've noticed anecdotally so far is that the low light stuff, or the astrophotography, the night photography, the landscapes where there's stars matched in the background, seem to really perform really well. And I really love trying to take those photos. And I know a lot about how to lay out the stars that I would want in that photo, or I know where the stars are. I know how to kind of line some of the landscape stuff up, and I know how to expose for it. So that's a part that I'd really like to get into and push for more, and what seems to be a draw of the photos that I take. But on the other side of that too, I really want to do more fine art photography. That's what I really liked and was kind of drawn into when I first started taking photos, even way back on film before I knew how at all. But I really like the fine art side of it, where you could go through and try and put the nicest elements together, or try and put a landscape together. But I liked that side of it a lot more than the product or production side of it, in a sense at least. And I've always been really interested in the fine art photographers that are out there, or the fine art landscape photographers, where you see some of the advanced kind of work that they put together, some of the ways that they're able to put real pieces, real elements into a photograph. It's always seemed so cool when you're really able to be in tune with that sort of stuff. And I don't know, I've just always loved the old landscapes and old fine art images from the past. So that's kind of the stuff that I'm trying to get into. But organizing this stuff has been interesting. So I'm trying to use this program called Scrivener. And maybe I talked about it before, or maybe a while back I talked about it. But Scrivener's kind of interesting. It's this, and I talked about it yesterday, I know, but it's this writing application that I'm trying to get into. And it seems like it would take a few tutorials to really figure out. It's a little bit more in depth. Hey, gravel truck. It's quite a bit more in depth than something like Word, even though Microsoft Word is sort of an industry standard that everyone has sort of learned on for the last 15, 20 years. It really is a little bit more specific to like an essay, or at least the way I've learned it, but it's more specific to an essay format of word processing, where you're trying to get a page accomplished and you're trying to edit through that, or you're trying to edit through kind of a single document. And Scrivener is sort of laid out in a way where there's a few more pieces on the side of it where it's really supposed to be a research application, where you're supposed to kind of compile different documents of text research or photo research, and you kind of put that together, and then you're able to sort of assemble a larger writing project from there. Which I think is kind of interesting. Like I'd figure like book authors would use a writing program like this to work on their character outlines and their story outlines, their plot summaries, and then they would work that into the manuscript that they would make into their book later. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of an interesting way that they seem to be going, or that the program is built to sort of go about it. So I'm trying to get into that and do it well. But one of the aspects I'm trying to do is to put in all the portfolio photographs that I have into this Word document, and then sort of sort those photographs and write about those photographs a little bit to see which photographs really seem to connect with me or connect with an audience the most. And also what photographs sort of have a story associated with them. I love that. Like if you would follow me for this for a second, you would kind of see that there's a difference between the photographs that are going to be the most monetizable, the ones that you can make money from, like let's say portraits, let's say business portraits for some company. You could get some money for that, but you wouldn't really want to post that in your portfolio of work necessarily. You'd want to, like, at least in my case, what I'd like to do is show some photos from the Imnaha River Canyon, like where we were last week on our photo trip. So you kind of want to move into that stuff, but it's not going to be the same sort of thing like those landscape fine art photos, or just, the landscape travel, adventure, tourism sort of stuff. That's all going to be on one side of it. And then the other is going to be, senior portraits, business portraits, event photography, wedding photography, that sort of stuff. So there's sort of two sides of a portfolio. One of them's a photo product that's valuable for money, and the other one's an art piece that's valuable because of its aesthetic. And those are sort of different things that you're kind of, as a photographer, you're trying to build both of those up at the same time. It's sort of like two different roots that you have to work on at the same time until they sort of merge together and unify. So it's kind of an interesting part of it, and that seems to be part of the process that I'm in right now, is trying to figure that stuff out. So some weeks I'm working really hard on the aesthetic side of the photography, and then some weeks I'm working really hard on the monetizable, compensation-based side of the products that I want to try and build as a photographer that's in business, right? And those are interesting challenges. But I guess I've been doing it for a couple of years, and it's kind of fun, at least to get to still be doing it. So a couple of things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go through and build a new Lightroom catalog of all the photos that I've taken this year and all the photos from the last couple of years, so I can organize those and do a little bit of what I'm talking about. So I have this kind of tighter collection of maybe the top 100, top 200, top 50, some number in there of well laid out photo essays and stories with an image. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to, especially for like the social media content side of it. I want to try and have that ready to go with a higher frequency almost all the time. So I'm trying to get everything kind of pre-produced, right? If that makes sense. So I want all the portfolio photos pre-selected and then ready for me to go if I want to post those or get those out on any given day. So it's interesting. It's kind of a cool project. I worked on it a little bit. I'll work on it a little bit here and there when I can, but that's another part that's kind of tough. I mean, gosh, I haven't even finished my website yet, which I guess the last part is still just this. It's kind of what it's been waiting for, is I need to finish the selection of the portfolio, and then I can build the portfolio gallery and put that up on the website. But so far it's been working great just to send y'all over to Instagram. I think that's where most of the stuff goes. That's where all the current content goes anyway too. So it's fine. And up on Hootsuite, or well, it was up on Facebook, up on Instagram today. I was putting up a photo from the Imnaha River Canyon. It's this really cool spot. When you get to the town of Imnaha, that's right where the river would run through, the Imnaha River. And then from there, it's really cool. There's like steep canyon walls on either side of it that go up, but it's cool in that area. It's kind of this like highland grassland that kind of goes out. And that morning when we were camping there, we got to take a lot of really cool photos up by the campsite that we were at that was just right up on the rim of the mountain, or the rim of the ridge, and it looks out down into the canyon. So you get to kind of see a few thousand feet down into the canyon, and then as it kind of climbs back up to the other side, as you would look west out toward the Wallowa Mountains, the Eagle Cap Wilderness area. And then over to your east, which you can't see really, but over to your east, if you kept going, would be the ridge that would go down to the Snake River on that side into the Hells Canyon. So it's a really cool, really beautiful spot up there to get to spend some time. But the spot that I took the photograph that was posted today was this really pretty just corner of the Imnaha River Canyon on the road that you would drive on to get out toward Hell's Canyon. And as you stopped there, we were taking photos in the morning while the shadows were still kind of at an angle, which is what I love. But it's tough when you get into midday, like where I am right now. The shadows from the sun, they come straight down, and so you don't really get any detail in some of the contours of the shapes that you'd be taking photographs of. So I really like the angle, the position, the lighting and stuff of the photograph. I thought it was cool to get to be out there again, and I love that area. But I have a bunch of other photos from that area, and then kind of on from there when we went to a few other spots. But I have a photo from Imnaha going up today. You can check that out at Billy Newman on Instagram. I'm also trying to put up a video clip. I'll probably put one up from the Imnaha photo trip also. I'll put up a longer clip of Marina and I working in the morning and just kind of working on photos and trying to set up stuff and take photos. So it's maybe a little behind the scenes stuff of while we were running around working on stuff. So it should be kind of cool. I'll try and get that up onto YouTube, and maybe I'll cross post that over to Facebook, or I'll get that up on as a Hootsuite scheduled link here sometime soon. But yeah, I got to figure that out probably before the end of my lunch break here. Oh, and then I'm also trying to get the podcasts that I'm recording here up onto YouTube. So you can go to my YouTube page. If you search for Billy Newman Photo, you should be able to find it. And I think I have a whole section of the channel there devoted to all of the podcasts episodes that I put together so far in the past. But I think that's just about everything that I am working on media-wise today. Hope you guys are all having a swell day, and thanks a lot for listening to this episode of the Billy Newman Photo Podcast.